worked at Timken brake plant in shipping receiving. I got laid off. So I applied here for a job they had advertised in the press room, and it was already filled, thank goodness. And then he called me about a month later, had an opening in the composing department upstairs. I worked a half a day there and half a day in the mailroom, catch and press. 44 hours a week, 4 hours overtime. Then we finally went down to 40-hour a week. We got the same money, so it was really a raise. When I first came here, we were doing all hot lead metal here. LMM there wasn't until 1958. That's where the beginning of it was. We set the type there, a print on a photon machine, and they had a decoder drum in there. When you typed it, the decoder drum put the type on this paper, and when you develop it, and once in a while those decoder drums had brushes on them, the brushes would break, so you had everything garbled. You had to type everything all over again. When we first started out, we were making ads only. We were making all the ads for the paper on zinc plates, and they used those in the old press room and basement. They apparently bend them to go on the rolls or whatever. Because when I first started out, I was monitoring 5 linotype machines. They ran this perforated tape through with all the holes, and that was all the type for the pages. And after I did that for about a year, then I was assistant to the machinist. We had to clean those linotype machine lead pots every day and straighten those brass mats. They get bent once in a while. I had to straighten those. And then after that, they had me run one of those big, I think it was a G4 linotype, typed all the grocery ads. So, and that was a good experience for me, because then I went to Elm Avenue in '58. Got married in August, went there in September.
It was called New Process, and it was a new process that they could etch the ad onto a zinc plate. It was like a metal plate, but made out of zinc. It was a couple years they had talked about it. They were pioneers in new equipment that they had purchased. Some of the machines were enormous. You could walk inside of the machines. Some of the first photo typesetting machines. Then year after year, they got smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't know the exact investment, but I always heard that it was an enormous amount of money, but it would save a lot of money in the long run. It was a lot quicker and more efficient, and the materials were a lot less. We didn't deal with lead, and a lot of equipment became obsolete at the time. When you put a headline together in the old style, you had a slide rule, and you picked each letter out of a case and put it in there one at a time, put it through a hot metal machine, which spit out a hot slug, they called it. That was your headline or your type. We had linotype machines that spit out lead lines. It would be maybe 3 or 4 or 5 words on a slug, and they would be in a galley. And it almost seems impossible to do now, thinking about it, but it was, fairly easy after you got to know how to do it. But it was quite a difference pacing up the page in front of you while you were looking at it, instead of turned around backwards on a cast iron mat that we use.